Okay, so I'll give you 2 or 3 minutes. So try to look at this proof. Okay, so again, it depends. Okay, so at this early stage, I'm not expecting you to recall that identity because it needs practice. Okay, so even I try to redo it again. But if you look at one of the identities, which looks something like this, if you have cos of A minus B, okay, minus cos of A plus B. Okay, so this is 2 times sine A into sine B. Okay, so the first one, cos of A minus B is cos A cos B plus sine A sine B. The second one, cos of A plus B is cos A cos B minus sine A sine B. Okay, so because I'm subtracting these two, your cos A into cos B disappears and then sine A into sine B becomes twice. Okay, so this is the identity that we are using here. Now, do I see that in the question? Okay, so if you look at the left-hand side, I can, let's say, manipulate it a little bit like this. So the 4, I can write it as, let's say, 2 into sine theta, and the remaining 2 as a factor, I am keeping it with the other 2 terms. Okay, so I have 2 sine 60 degrees minus theta into sine 60 degrees plus theta. Okay, so now if you see, I have 2 sine A into sine B. So I'm basically going backwards. Okay, so I'm going from the right hand side, 2 into sine A into sine B to cos of A minus B minus cos of A plus B. So what are my A's and B's here? So if you look at it, my 60 minus theta, I can take it as A, and the 60 plus theta, I can take it as B. Okay, so this I can take it as A, and then this B, or the other way around, doesn't matter. Okay, so whether you take 60 plus theta as A and 60 minus theta as B, that is okay. Now, from here, 2 sine theta, I'm just carrying it forward. Now, what will this be? It will be cos of A minus B. So we'll get cos of A minus B. So 60 minus theta minus 60 minus theta. So that 60 disappears. I'll get minus 2 theta minus cos of A plus B. So here 60 minus theta plus 60 plus theta. So theta disappears this time. So you will get 120 degrees. Okay. Now let's proceed. So 2 into sine theta. Now we know cos of minus some input is cos of that input. Okay, so you just have cos 2 theta here minus cos 120. Okay, so cos 120 is how much you're getting into second quadrant. Okay, so cos 120 will be negative. So it will be, I think I'll write at the side here. So cos 120 degrees is actually minus cos 60 degrees. So this gives us minus half. So I'll substitute that here. So I have minus half. And then let's take this 2 sine theta inside. Okay, so I distribute it. So I'll get 2 into sine theta into cos 2 theta. That minus minus it will become plus. So I have this 2 sine theta brought inside. So the 2 disappears. I will get plus sine theta. Okay. Now another identity. So we have seen what cos 2 theta is, right? So what is cos 2 theta? Cos 2 theta can be written as cos square theta minus sin square theta. Or because I don't, if you look at the right hand side, there is no cos. So can I say cos 2 theta? I can write it as 1 minus 2 sin square theta. You guys recall?
1 minus 2
sin square theta.
Yeah.
I mean, it is as good as cos square theta minus sin square theta.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will replace that here. So you get 2 sin theta So this becomes 1 minus 2 sine square theta plus sine theta. Now open this up. Okay, so 2 sine theta minus 4 sine cube theta plus sine theta. Now, if you bring them 3 sine theta minus 4 sine cube theta. Okay, so if you remember our last discussion, we saw that this is actually sine 3 theta. Sorry, sine 3 theta, not 3 sine theta. Sine 3 theta. Okay, so I hope you understood this. Okay, anyway, I'll pause here for a minute. Let me know if you have any questions. So as you look at such identities, okay, we are deriving for exams like JEE mains and advanced is okay. We will not talk about advanced right now, but if you look at JEE mains also, sometimes these identities are used in problems. Okay, Harsha, you are trying to ask something.
Nothing, sir. I wasn't.
You're okay with this?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on.
Sir, how did we get that sine theta in the fourth step, I guess?
Oh, okay. So because outside you have 2 sine theta, right? Here. I took it inside. I opened the brackets. So 2 sine theta into cos 2 theta, but this 2 sine theta should also be multiplied with this.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Om, you have any questions?
No, sir.
No? Okay. So let us move on. Okay. Yeah, I'll give a minute or two. This is actually easy, so you should be able to do it. Okay. So if you look at the left-hand side, you just open it up using the sine of x plus y and the sine of x minus y. Okay. So what do you get? You get sine x cos y plus cos x sine y, and then divided by you have sine x cos y minus cos x sine y. Now, after this, what you can do is you can divide both numerator and denominator by, you want to convert this into tan. So divide both numerator and denominator by cos x into cos y. Okay, so you're dividing by cos x into cos y. So, okay, so I'll divide here by cos x into cos y. So here also I divide cos x into cos y, but that means I need to divide the denominator as well. Okay, so I have sine x cos y minus cos x sine y. Now I think you can see where this is going. So this is cos x into cos y plus cos x into cos y. So now if you look at it, I think these guys will vanish. These guys will vanish, and then these guys will vanish. These guys will vanish. Now you see these guys. So you have sin x by cos x, tan x. I think this is really cool result. Sometimes you can use this. Okay. So tan x plus tan y divided by tan x minus tan y. Okay. So this is really nice. Okay. So what is happening here? Sin of x plus y by sin of x minus y is like kind of tan x plus tan y by tan x minus tan y. Okay. So I hope you understand this.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on. So now let us use this to solve this problem. Okay, so use this result to solve this.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll give a minute. Okay, let's talk about it, guys. Okay, so what do we have here? I think you can split this and then write sine of 75 can be written as 45 plus 30.
30.
And then this you can write it as sine of 45 minus 30. Now, if you look at the previous one, it is saying that it is tan 45 plus tan 30. Again, I'm not saying that you can't open it up and then do. We're just using it, okay? Forcefully, okay? So tan 45 minus tan 30. So tan 45 is 1. So tan 30 is 1 by root 3 by 1 minus 1 by root 3. So this, I think we are familiar, right? So this is root 3 plus 1 by root 3 minus 1. So this happens to be 2 plus root 3. Okay. Okay. So I'm hoping you guys are okay with this.
Yes.
Move on. Okay. So now try this one. Okay, so here you can start with the tan of a plus b here. Okay, so tan of a plus b is tan a plus tan b divided by 1 minus tan a into tan b. Okay, now just pay attention to this, just tan 3x. Okay, so if I apply the above identity to tan 3x, so how can I convert that? That 3x, I can split it into 2x and x. So now I have a as 2x and then b as x. So this I can write it as tan 2x plus tan x. Okay, I think you should put a bracket so that you know what is happening. So 1 minus tan 2x into tan x. Now you cross multiply because on the left hand side you have tan of 3x, you cross multiply. So what do you get? So you have tan of 3x. Okay, so this gets multiplied with 1 minus tan of 2x into tan of x. This is equal to tan of 2x plus tan x. Now distribute here tan 3x. So you get tan 3x minus, I have tan 3x into tan 2x into tan x. This is equal to tan of 2x plus tan of x. So now what you can do is you can take this to the right hand side and then bring this to the left hand side. Okay, so you will have tan of 3x minus tan of 2x minus tan of x. This is equal to product of these. Okay, so tan 3x into tan 2x into tan x. Again, I think this is also a cool result. Okay, so I'll pause here a minute, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so I'm hoping you understand this. Okay, so now I think you can use this result. We know how to get tan 15. I mean, you can use tan 45 minus 30. We have already done that. Okay, so I'm just forcefully trying to use these things. Okay, so tan 15. Now, what result do we have here? We have tan of 3x into tan of 2x into tan of x is tan of 3x minus tan of 2x minus tan of x. Okay, so I think this overdoing is okay in the beginning because we're just trying to understand trigonometry. Okay, so now here I can just put x is equal to 15. Okay, so if I put x is equal to 15, the left hand side gives me tan of 45 degrees and multiplied by tan of 30 degrees multiplied by tan 15 degrees And then this will be right hand side tan 45 minus tan 30 minus tan 15. Okay, you might be thinking this is too much. I know this is too much. We're just doing it. Okay. So tan 45 is what? 1. And then tan 30 is 1 over root 3. And then tan 15 is what we need to find. Okay, so right hand side 1 minus 1 by root 3 minus tan 15. So the right hand side tan 15, I'll bring it to the left hand side. Okay. And then if I take common, so I'll get 1 plus 1 by root 3. And the right hand side I have 1 minus 1 by root 3. So this I think should give you tan 15, 1 minus 1 by root 3 by 1 plus 1 by root 3. And then we have seen this is root 3 minus 1 by root 3 plus 1. And if you rationalize the denominator, you should get 2 minus root 3. Okay, I know this is an overkill, but yeah, we're just doing it. Okay.
So
Yeah.
where does minus tan 15 go?
I brought it to the left hand side.
You brought it to the left hand side.
So if I bring it to the left hand side, there is a common na, tan 15. So this is 1, 3. ये plus 1 हो जाएगा. ये अगर left side आता है. You understand?
Okay, so then would it be like 2 tan?
No. This is 1 by root 3, na beta. And this is tan 15. See, let me write another step. Okay. So here in between, I'm writing tan of 15 degrees by root 3. If I bring that tan 15 to the left, it will be plus tan 15. Na?
Yeah.
You understand? Now here I will take tan 15 common. So in the first term, I have 1 by root 3. In the second term, I just have 1. You see that?
Yeah, sir. I get it.
You understood? Yeah. Okay. So if there are no other questions, let us move on. Okay. So try this, guys. I'll pause for a minute or two. Okay. Again, look at them individually. And at this stage, again, my advice is still same. See in which quadrant these are going to. Okay. Now 3 pi by 4. It's
135.
135. So it is going into which quadrant?
Second quadrant.
Second quadrant. So it will be positive, right? So I can I write that as, but anyway, it doesn't matter because you're squaring. Okay. So all these you're squaring. Even if you take it negative by chance, you are still okay. Okay. But anyway, so we want to write it correctly. So sine square, can I say that is sine square pi by 4, right? And then 7 pi by 4, which quadrant will it get into?
So same 135 because we are removing. No, sir, not.
No, just.
No, it isn't.
So it will be 2 pi. 7 pi by 4, you can write it as 2 pi minus pi by 4.
Pi minus
pi by 4, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Getting
Yeah.
into which quadrant now?
It would be 45. Pi by 4 would be 45.
So minus 45. So which quadrant are you in now?
Fourth quadrant, sir.
Fourth quadrant. And then cos is positive there. So again, since we are squaring, we don't bother, but still we want to write it correctly. So can I say we can write it as pi by 4? Okay. Now 13 pi by 3. What do you think that is? 13 pi by 3, we can write it as 12. So 4 pi plus pi by 3. So that is nice. I mean, it's a multiple. So we can just write it as 11 secant square pi by 3, right? So now we have nice angles. So now substitute the values. So what is sine pi by 4? It is 1 over root 2. Okay, so but I need to square that. Okay. And cos pi by 4 is also 1 over root 2, but I need to square it. क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं? अय्यो. Sometimes my mind doesn't cooperate. Okay, so this is 1 over root 2 cos square plus 11. Okay, so secant is what? 1 over cos, right? So cos pi by 3 is 1 by 2. So secant pi by 3 will be 2. So it will be 2 square. Then what do we get? Here, 1 over root 2 square is like 1 by 2 plus 6 into this is 1 by 2 plus 11 into 4. So that is 44. So what do we get? Here 1 plus 3 plus kitna ho raha hai? 4, 48. Can I say 48, guys? Is it okay?
No.
No, not okay?
1 minute. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So,
yes, sir.
Om, are you okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let us move on. Okay, so try. Array, what happened? Yeah, you need to prove this to be 1, guys. Okay, so try this one. Okay, so let's discuss this, guys. In the left hand side, I think the easier ones are that cos 2 pi plus x. I think this can easily be written as. Okay, so this is just cos x, right? So there is no confusion there. And then this is simply cot x. So there is no problem there. Okay. Now we need to see about the rest. Okay, so now what will this be? Okay. Now cos 3 pi by 2. So 3 pi by 2 is how much? 270 degrees, right? Now,
3 pi.
so if you we don't know what x is, okay. So the problem here is x is a variable. Okay, it can be anything. Okay, it can be it can be acute, it can be obtuse. We don't know. Okay, but if you assume, okay, so if you assume, can we assume, or what shall we do here? Maybe what we can do is that cos 3 pi by 2. We'll try to do it separately. So cos 3 pi by 2 plus x. If I write it as cos of, can I say 2 pi minus pi by 2 plus x to begin with? Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so now this I can write it as, now but you have to be careful. Huh? We did this earlier also. You should take the entire angle. Huh? Okay, you should take the entire angle. So that will give me cos of minus pi by 2 minus x, because there is a plus there. Okay. Now cos of minus of something will be just cos of that angle. So you'll get cos of pi by 2 minus x. Now, if you look at this is simply sin x. Okay, so we have seen these. Okay, so cos pi by 2 minus x is sin x. Okay, so that we will substitute here. So we have here sin x. Then the other one. Okay, so we will do the same thing for cot 3 pi by 2 minus x. So let me do that again. Let me squeeze it here. So cot 3 pi by 2 minus x. So this will be again, I'll try to write it as cot 2 pi minus pi by 2. So 2 pi is not going to give me much. So I left with the cot of minus pi by 2 minus x, which I'll write it as pi by 2 plus x. Okay, are you able to follow that? Is everyone okay there?
Yeah.
Okay, now here you have to be careful. Okay, so sine of minus of some angle is minus sine. Because cot is like cos by sine, I think you will get a minus sign up front. Okay, so maybe you can split this minus cos of pi by 2 plus x divided by sine of pi by 2 plus x. Then, okay, now your cos pi by 2 plus x will take you, I mean, assuming your x is acute, it will take you to second quadrant. So you will get a negative cos x. So you already have a minus sign, so it will make it cos x. And then sine pi by 2 plus x will be just cos x. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake here. The numerator will be sine x. Okay, so this is sine x and this is cos x. Guys, was I going very fast? Do you guys understand this?
Not really.
Harsha, are you okay?
No, sir.
Okay, let us go slowly. Okay, so I'll do one thing. Okay, let me go slowly. Look at this.
And sir, here we've written 3 pi by 2 as minus of pi by 2 plus x, right?
Right.
So instead of that, I just wrote it as cos of pi plus pi by 2 plus x. Can we write it that way also?
That is also fine.
And then, we cross out the pi and then we consider it as cos of pi by 2 plus x.
Okay, 1 second.
Or would that be wrong to do it?
What you're saying is, let me check. So you're writing this as what? Cos
of pi, cot of pi plus pi by 2 minus x. I have 3 inside.
Okay, so cot of pi plus pi
by 2
minus x.
Huh.
Okay, so this, I mean, if you write it as cos of this, let's say, okay, so sine of this, let's say, then if you assume that this is acute, let's say, assuming that this is like acute, your cos pi plus something will still give you negative, right? So that will be minus cos of pi by 2 minus x. And then this will give you again negative sine pi by 2 minus x. Then you will end up having, this is sine. Yeah, this is perfectly fine. You can do this.
Okay, yeah.
This is fine. Yeah. So what I did is I split this 3 pi by 2 as 2 pi minus pi by 2. So 2 pi is not going to do anything. So I dropped it. So I have minus pi by 2 minus x, which I wrote it this way. But this is
okay.
Yeah. So are we okay, guys?
Yes, sir.
Let me go through that again. Okay. So this 3 pi by 2, I wrote it as 2 pi minus pi by 2. Okay. So let me write that here. 2 pi minus pi by 2 minus x. Okay. Now pay attention to that minus pi by 2 minus x. Okay. So that I'm writing it here because the 2 pi is not going to do anything. Okay. Now, why am I careful with minus that? Because sometimes it can lead to some sign issues. Okay. So it's better to take it as plus everything. So after 2 pi, you take everything with sign. Then this is what cos of minus this angle, cos of minus of some angle. So that will be minus. Because this minus is because of the sign, not because of the cos. Okay, so this minus upfront is because of sign, because sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. Okay, so that is why I put minus here. And then this is like theta, pi by 2 plus x is theta. Okay, pi by 2 plus x is theta. So we wrote that here, and then we wrote that here. And then cos pi by 2 plus x will be sine x. It is actually minus sine x, but there is a minus, so it will become sine x. And what did I do? Yeah, that is correct. So sine pi by 2 plus x. Okay, was I correct there? Yes, am I saying it okay here? So if you take x as acute, okay, so cos pi by 2 plus x will be minus sine x. So there is a minus already. So that is why it is becoming plus sine x. And then sine pi by 2 plus x. Again, assuming x is acute, you're just going to the second quadrant. So that will be positive x. So positive cos x. Now you might ask, okay, why am I assuming acute? But even if you don't assume acute, okay, so even if you assume any other angle, you will still get the same ratio. Okay, so it should work. Okay, you can check that. Okay, you can check that. Now this comes out to be what? Sin x by cos x. Okay, basically that is tan x. Then let us erase this. Okay, so let me make some space here. Okay, now let's write this. So you have sin x into cos x. And here I can write that as sin x by cos x. Cot x is cos x by sin x. Now I think you'll follow. Now this I'm just repeating, sin x into cos x. And here if I take LCM, cos x into sin x. In the numerator I have sin square x plus cos square x. Now you see this, these guys will disappear. Okay, so ye khatam ho jayenge. And then sin square x plus cos square x is just 1. So you get 1 on the right side. Are we okay? Okay, I'll pause here for a minute. Let me know if you have any questions. It's understanding, practice. Okay, so both are important. Okay, first understanding, then practice. Practice. Okay. Okay, I'll advise all of you on one thing. Okay, if you want to take your trigonometry to the next level, okay, with a good amount of practice, you should purchase one book. It is not at all expensive. Okay, it's maybe you might get an online. You will definitely get an online copy. Okay, if you search. Okay, so this is a very old book, but it's a classic. Okay, it's I mean, if you go through it, I have a personal story associated with this book. I will share that story someday. Okay, I really like this book. Okay, well, I have very good story, good memories with this book. This book, the name of the author is S.L. Loney.
Oh, yeah.
You heard
I
this?
know. Yes, sir.
Okay, so S.L. Loney's Plane Trigonometry. Okay.
Okay.
Very short book, but it will take, I mean, if you work with it, it will take at least a month.
Okay.
It's a fantastic book. Okay, it's a fantastic book. If you work with it, your trigonometry will be very nice. Okay, it's really, I mean, it's not very costly. Even if you order a hard copy book, it's not costly. Okay. Are we okay here?
Yeah, sir.
So we'll move forward. Okay, so I'll wait for 2 or 3 minutes. Try this one. Okay, so let's discuss this. I think here, if you recall this identity, cos of A minus B minus cos of A plus B. Okay, so this will be 2 sine A into sine B. Okay, so what are your A's and B's? A is your 3 pi by 4 and then B is your X. So then the left hand side, I can write it as, okay, so 2 sine A. So that's 3 pi by 4. And then sine B, which is sine X. And then 3 pi by 4 is 145 degrees. So where do you really go? Sorry, is it 145? Guys, are we okay here?
Which one, sir?
I think I made a mistake here, right? Can you spot the mistake? I made a mistake, small mistake.
So in the equation.
Yes. So because I have a minus b first, but here they are
Yeah,
given
it's-
a minus b later. So what should happen? I should put a minus sign up front. You guys understand? That will fix the problem. Harsha, are you okay?
Yes, sir.
You understand? See, here a minus b is without a sign. Na? A plus b has a minus sign. But in the given problem, you have written cos a plus b minus cos a minus b. So I should fix that with a minus sign. Okay, I mean to say this. Okay, so I'll write it the other version here. So cos of, if you write a plus b minus cos of a minus b, you will not get, I mean, the magnitude wise 2 sin a, sin b only, but with a minus sign. So that is what it is. Okay, so we are like multiplying both sides by -1 here, right? So here you are multiplying by minus. Then sine 3 pi by 4 is what? 1 over root 2. So that is 1 over root 2 into sin x. So that should give minus root 2 sin x. Okay. Okay. So I'll pause here for a minute. Let me know if you have any questions here. Okay, so assuming you don't have any questions, let's move on. Okay, so I'll give few minutes, try this. Okay, so let's discuss this case. So left-hand side, if you notice, you have a square minus b square form. So let's write that in terms of a plus b into a minus b. So you will have sine of 24x plus sine of 22x, that is a plus b, and a minus b. So sine of 24x minus sine of 22x. Okay, now here let's look at the identities that we want to use. So if I have a sine of a plus b plus sine of a minus b, what do you get? You get 2 sine a cos b. Okay, in other words, okay, so sometimes you could also write it this way. Listen carefully, guys. Now I can write a plus b as c. So if I write a plus b as c, I have sine c, a minus b as d. I can write it as plus sine d. That becomes 2 sine. Now, if I'm assuming a plus b as c, a minus b as d, how do I get a? I get a by adding these two so that I eliminate b and then divide by 2. So I can write this as c plus d by 2 and then cos c minus d by 2. Are you able to follow this? Is everyone okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So look at it carefully. And then I'm just using that here. So what do I have here? 2 sine. So this bracket will become 2 sine c plus d by 2. So 24 plus 22. How much is that? 24 plus 22, 46 by 2. So that will become 23x. And cos of a c minus d. So 24 minus 22. So that is 2x, but I need to divide by 2. So x. So I get this. The same thing you can do for the other factor, because sine of a plus b minus sine of a minus b is 2. This time, instead of sine upfront, you will get cos upfront and then sine b. Now this also you can write it this way. Okay, so sine c minus sine d will be 2 cos of c plus d by 2 into sine of c minus d by 2. So we'll write that here. Okay, so it will be 2 first cos of c plus d by 2. So it will be cos of c plus d. So that is 46 by 2. So 23x. C minus d. So that is sine x. Okay, so we are so far here. Now another identity, if you have seen 2 sine a into cos a is sine 2a, right? So this is another identity that we know. Okay. Now here you can look at two such things here. Okay. So I have 2 sine 23x multiplied by cos 23x. And then similarly 2 sine x into cos x. So you can combine these two. So this becomes sine 2 into 23. So which is 46x. And then sine 2x. So this is what you have on the right hand side. Okay. Okay, guys. I think I'll pause here a minute. Let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah.
So I'm considering this a plus b as c, a minus b as d, so that you will get this identity. Able to follow, Harsha?
Not really, sir.
Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll write that again. Okay. Let's go slowly here. So sine of a plus b. Now do one thing. Do you agree with this? This you agree? Yes or no? Is this okay?
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir. That one is okay. Those identities.
Okay. Now let us do one thing. Okay. Can I do a plus b as c?
A plus B.
I'm assuming that is okay. Now a minus b as d, right? Now if I add both sides, what do I get? I get 2a is c plus d. If I add both sides.
Yes, sir.
Now what is a? C plus d by 2. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now if you subtract the second equation from first equation, what do you get? 2b is equal to c minus d, right?
Yeah.
What is b? C minus d by 2. Understood?
Okay.
Now wherever you have, let's say, look at the right hand side and look at the left hand side. Okay, so wherever you have a plus b, I'm substituting c. So I get sine c. Wherever I have a minus b, I'm substituting d. So sine d. Now, a is what now? C plus d by 2, right? So 2 sine c plus d by 2 and then cos c minus d by 2. You're okay?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Understood now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it will take some time. Okay. So these are not easy in the beginning. Okay. It will take practice. All I'm suggesting is please be patient.
Okay.
But again, when I say you can't just be patient. You need to practice. Practice with tons of problems. Then you will become comfortable. Okay. So Danya and Om, are you okay with this?
Yes, sir. I got the formula, sir. How you derived it, that one.
Okay.
Sin C and sin.
Okay. Very good. So Danya, how about you?
Yes, sir. I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it. Okay.